I started lifting weights when I was 18 years old, and now I'm 25, and it took me a long time to figure out that the thing that I thought was bringing me purpose, the thing that I thought was fulfilling me, was actually secretly destroying me. And that's what's so dangerous about it. It was secretly destroying me. I felt like I was confident. I felt like I was living a fulfilled life. I thought I was happy. I thought I was in peace. But in reality, all fitness made me do was suppress my emotions so deep inside me I thought they didn't exist. But then when something in my life hits me, they come out and they manifest in my life to where I felt worthless. Many of you know my story. I was an 18-year-old kid who hit puberty very late, so he was always the youngest looking and the skinniest guy in school, which led me to being very insecure, not feeling worthy enough because of how other people treated me. And when I looked in a mirror, I instantly thought that the problem was my external. I thought because I looked young, because I was skinny, because I was weak, that's why I wasn't enough. And that's why I lifted weights hard. It became my purpose, it became my priority, it became my life, so I could overcome these insecurities. And I thought I did, but all it did was mask my deep problems. And I honestly believe that this is a problem that I'm dealing with now, that 90% of fitness people are currently dealing with through fitness, which is the wrong way to do it, because eventually in your life, you will realize the external accomplishments you do, whether it is muscle, whether it is money or girls, is like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. Sure, it might hide it, but you aren't healed from it. What fitness and building my physique did to me was create an ego. It created pride issues in me. And I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, Mario probably thinks he's better than everybody else and everybody else is a piece of shit. That's what I thought ego and pride was, when now I know that's actually not the case. And I want you to really listen to me, because if you do not really realize what ego and pride is, it is getting in the way of your true purpose in life. And if you're into fitness and something motivated you to get into fitness other than being healthy and looking better for yourself, like actually for yourself, most people can't actually admit that they didn't live for themselves, you will have emotional and mental issues in the future. Shout out to my twin brother who has a YouTube channel for some people who actually don't know that. He's a big reader and started reading this book called Master Your Emotions, pretty much in line with my timeline, where I noticed I have some mental and spiritual issues. In this book, Master Your Emotions, it states that ego refers to the self-identity you've constructed throughout your life. How is this identity created? Put simply, the ego is created through your thoughts and, as a mind-created identity, has no concrete reality. Events that happen to you bear no meaning in themselves. You give them meaning only through your interpretation of those events. You're gonna have to ask yourself what might have created your ego, or might create your ego, or might be in the process of creating your ego. For me, it was being skinny and small and looking young. But it was my interpretation of the events around me that created the ego. Instead of finding confidence in my own worth, in who I was as a person, I gave meaning to how other people treated me because I was so dependent on external validation, as my external appearance is how I'm viewed in life. And in this book, it ties perfectly to what I'm saying, as it states for a lot of people, particularly fitness people, your body is your ego, it is your pride. Stating that most people derive their self-worth from their physical appearance, as your ego loves the way you look because it's the easiest thing to recognize and quantify. And when you strongly associate with your physical appearance, you tend to identify more easily with physical and emotional pain. And believe it or not, you can observe your body without identifying with it. My brother read that to me and it described me to a T. My self-worth was my physical appearance. And you might be wondering what's wrong with that. Well, I'll tell you right now, in my life, there is a lot wrong with that. If you really want in-depth, my last video, which at the moment is titled I Was Wrong About Everything. I'll leave a link as a pinned comment and in the description in case I change the title. But I go over exactly why identifying with your physique actually prevents you from living a life with purpose, happiness, and peace. But I realized no matter how much better I looked, no matter how much muscle I built, no matter how much more shredded I got, there was an empty spiritual void in my life. Associating my ego and my pride with my physical appearance made me look at the world in an awful way. I thought the better I looked, the more value I had. And my only value to the world was my external, how I looked. And I also started viewing people that way too. It would literally make me feel more secure knowing I was in better shape than somebody else. I wouldn't say it was extreme, but there would be cases where it would happen. And I'm able to admit that. And this completely suppressed any value I had for my internal traits, aka who I really was as a person, because the external means nothing. Note, I'm not saying not to build your external, because believe it or not, people judge you based on the external, but I took that way too far. Like, is a girl going to be attracted to you if you're fat and ugly? No. Will she be attracted to you if you're healthy and good shape and you look good? Yes. But I promise you, if you still view the world this way, the girl will not like you for very long, because she will feel the energy of the empty void you have internally. And I saw this video from former UFC champion Dominick Cruz, where he goes over his depression, as he was injured for 3 years straight, where he couldn't compete in the octagon, his health deteriorated, and this crumbled him and his life.
I had my depression that was hitting me, and that's, so many people in this world are dealing with depression. Like, it's a huge, catastrophic problem across the planet, and it's something that everybody, not just myself, deals with on a daily basis, I think, in certain people's lives. And that hit me very hard, and I didn't understand why it hit me so much harder now after I stopped competing. Like, why is it so much worse now? Well, the reason is my body was used to the activity, just go, go, go. And what I realized is I turned off all my emotional, spiritual, and mental issues with exercise, to where I never, ever, ever dealt with them, ever. I only physically worked them out. So my physical was perfection. I'm a world champion, monster killer, whatever you want to call me in your own respective mind, right? But emotionally, physically, and spiritually, I was a cricket. And I never understood that until I was hurt, trapped in my own body like a prison cell. Couldn't train, couldn't run, couldn't walk, couldn't bend my leg, laying on the couch eating pain pills, realizing, man, unless you train, unless you compete, you hate yourself. You hate yourself. You're a piece of in your own mind. Without those things, without the beautiful girlfriend, without the beautiful house, without the nice cars, without the big money to show people, you hate yourself. I lost sight that the whole reason we're fighting is it's a spiritual, emotional, physical, mental battle that helps you grow as an individual and as a human being. It's not just to have these things that you think will make you happy. You have to learn those things through the process. And I didn't know that until I was trapped in my own body. And I literally felt like I was in a prison cell for 3 years.
Ask yourself this question. Please be honest with yourself, because I think you will find something about yourself that you never have before. Think about the most important thing in your life, or one of the most important things in your life. For me, it's my health and fitness. For you, it might be a girlfriend, your success, your money, your car. If someone took that away from you, what would happen to you mentally? To be vulnerable for me, if someone took my fitness and health away, exactly like I did to Dominick Cruz, so practically it would be if I blew out my knee, or I got a crazy disease and I couldn't exercise anymore, I couldn't lift weights anymore, I couldn't go to MMA anymore, what would it do to me? And I can tell you right now, I would fall into a crazy depression and my life would crumble. If you asked me this a month ago, I'd say, you know what this means? It just means I love fitness. I love health. I just love to exercise. But the reality is, I low-key think I'm a piece of shit inside. And without my external appearance, without the external stuff that I have, which, yes, for me includes my business and my YouTube success, I think I'm worthless, which is a scary, scary thing that I figured out. If someone took your money away, if someone took your girlfriend away, if someone took your job away, and you feel like you would crumble and you would think you're worthless, that means you have a spiritual void in your life. Dominick Cruz said his life was go, 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 and he was exercising all the time and obviously training for his sport all the time. And he used that to mask his mental and spiritual issues. And I've done that my whole life. And what's scary about it and how fitness made me hate myself was because you feel comfortable there. You don't actually know there's something wrong. And if you do not fix this ASAP, your life will crumble very soon. I can thank God that He helped me find out this issue with myself without taking my health away from me, because He did it to Dominick Cruz. But I can guarantee that Dominick Cruz is also thanking God that He did. We all have our different journeys. Drop a like right now if you want a more in-depth guide on how I'm trying to heal from my ego and pride issues, which, by the way, is probably one of the biggest issues in life, because a bunch of other issues stem from pride. But that might be a topic for another video. Drop a like and leave a comment if you want me to go over exactly how I'm healing from it. But in the book, Master Your Emotions, it gives you step 1 into solving your ego and pride issues. It states that highly self-conscious people can see through their ego. They understand how belief works and how excessive attachment to a set of beliefs can create suffering in their life. In effect, these individuals become the master of their mind and are at peace with themselves. Note that ego is neither good nor bad, it's just a result of a lack of self-awareness. It fades away as you become aware of it, since ego and awareness cannot coexist. So step one is get a pen and paper and figure out what are the most important things to you. And don't have the intention of writing anything, just write. But a few guided questions to ask yourself is why you want certain things that are important to you in your life, and how would you feel about yourself if they got taken away? And the second part is to believe in something. Trust in something external, aka a higher self. Build a relationship with a higher self, and then you'll realize you don't need anybody else. It's a process. You're not going to be healed overnight. But as soon as I went to God and said, I need help with this, I felt him get closer to me, and now I feel like I'm progressing so much in my process of healing from my ego and pride, which I thought was making my life better, but I can tell you now it was actually preventing me from living my best life. This is another example of content I want to be making. It's fitness related, sure, but now I'm more focused on content that will change people's lives. And I know because you watch my videos, you relate to me. I might be like an older brother to you. So I'm not going to let you make the mistakes that I made. Keep hitting the gym hard, keep building your physique, but remember that a higher version of you, your higher self, God, gave you your physique. He's proud of your physique, and it's not who you are. And people don't view you based on that. Once you do that, I honestly think you'll probably make better progress in the gym. You'll be more inspired because you're more at peace.